AMP2.TV presents Tell Us Your Business, where you're invited on the air to tell us what makes your business stand out in the community. It's important we hear from you to tell us all we need to know about what you do best. Tell Us Your Business uses the latest radio and television production systems, and all shows can be seen on AMP2.TV. If you have a question for our guest, call 888-565-1470. Now, let's get ready as our guest hits the airwaves and informs us about what we need to know on Tell Us Your Business.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is Executive Coach Jay Feldman. My partner, Lorena Anderson, and I bring you this Monday show. Lorena's on vacation this week, so I will be hosting this evening. My guest today is Dr. Ari Sosha, lovingly known in terms of his business, which is mobile dentistry. So talk about disruption. What a powerful, powerful way to take dentistry on the road. So Dr. Sosha, tell us a little bit about the genesis of mobile dentistry first.
Thanks, Jay. It's Ari Sosha, by the way.
Ari, excuse me.
No worries, but thank you so much for having me. Mobile dentistry is a new it's a new venue. It's a new way to approach dentistry. I think for a long time, technology was preventing it from really coming to fruition. But now with technology coming along, we're allowed to go and take dentistry on the road.
Sounds fabulous. Tell us a little bit about how the passion came about. I'm obviously familiar with various types of dentistry, but tell us about your background.
So I did my residency. I'm from New Jersey. I went to dental school up at UMD&J in Newark, New Jersey, beautiful Newark, New Jersey. And
know it well.
Yes, exactly. And I did my residency down here at Jackson Memorial Hospital. So during my residency, we actually had a mobile dental clinic that we would use to work with more indigent clients, provide dentistry to kind of homeless and things like that. And it was during that time period that I thought, wow, this is a great thing, but I would love to bring this with a different type of clientele. I wasn't sure exactly how I was going to use it. And then Renew Me, Mobile Dental, which is the name of the company, actually came to be after that.
Renew Me, that sounds very creative from a marketing and branding standpoint. How did you pick that name?
Well, I picked the name because the clientele that we're actually be working with. So Renew Me, I figured obviously Renew Me for the new you. We work exclusively with substance abuse and eating disorder treatment centers in South Florida. So obviously when you're going into drug treatment or an eating disorder treatment, you are usually in a dire situation, and renewing yourself or coming a rebirth per se seemed appropriate.
That's really impressive. So it's really a rebirth of not just obviously their mouth, but it's a whole holistic way of looking at their body and their mouth.
Absolutely.
Wow. What else can you tell us about their lifestyle? I mean, obviously, when you look at a patient or a customer or a client, it's the lifestyle and the marketing. But tell us a little bit more about the what your patient is feeling and coming to you. And they must be relieved, obviously.
Absolutely. So, I love working with this clientele for a number of reasons. The really the number one reason is the gratitude. You know, very grateful clients. And it's easy for in one appointment to make a huge change in these clients' lives. You know, our goal, like I said, with clients when they come into treatment, you know, they're usually at their very bottom, rock bottom, as they say. And the process of recovery is a slow process. It's a lifelong process. If you could take those little baby steps, things like fixing your teeth so you can get your smile back, really goes a long way as you try to, rebuild your new life.
So it's kind of like, besides the dentistry aspect, it's really the mental health aspect of it also in terms of renewing them, so to
100%.
speak.
100%. There's definitely a self-esteem component to it, absolutely.
And tell us a little bit about what your day looks like. Sounds like you've got a number of these centers. So what does a day look like for you?
So what we do is we provide a number of, our goal is with Renew Me is to provide oral wellness programming to the treatment centers. So right now, treatment centers have moved away from traditional therapy. Traditional used to be 12-step therapy. You go into treatment, you go through a 12-step program after a detox program, and you're back into your regular life. Now the approach is a holistic approach. It's a medical-based approach. They're now finding that, it's more than just get clients off drugs. It is teaching them how to live again, teaching them that life is worth living, make them feel better about life in general. So my days is varies. Some days we provide oral wellness programming, like tobacco cessation programming, to teach these clients, unfortunately, most of them smoke cigarettes. It used to be also that they would continue to smoke cigarettes and just remove the drugs. And what they're finding, studies are showing now that the success rate of staying off of drugs is much higher when you quit everything. So we go tobacco cessation programs. How do you stop smoking, chewing tobacco, and now these e-cigarettes? The truth behind all of those. And we also go and we screen all clients. So as clients get admitted to treatment, we provide oral screenings to see if they have any abscess or broken teeth. We want to target these teeth. The last thing you want with a client leaving is an abscess, broken tooth in their mouth. What ends up happening is either one, if they're lucky, they get to a dentist, but they get prescribed medications often. And usually, in early recovery, you hope that they're upfront about their situation and substance abuse issues, but often they're not. And or they self-medicate. So if we can go and take that client out of harm's way by pulling a tooth, we do them a real service. We also do things like bonding. So, besides just the cleaning to make you feel better about yourself, a dental cleaning goes a long way. But bonding on your front teeth, or so when you smile, to get your smile back, really boosts your self-esteem, and from a nutritional standpoint too, allows you to eat properly and get your life back together.
And these are patients who have been through a lot in terms of what life has really hit them with. So the coping mechanism for what you're trying in terms of modalities of therapy really is very helpful and additive to them.
Absolutely. Not only that, though, we also provide oral hygiene instructions. So it's amazing. Some of these most of them are 20-something years old, and it's such a shame. You'd rather them break both arms than to have their teeth in the situation that they're in, because it's really a lifelong situation to deal with. But we also provide them with, like I said, oral hygiene instruction, how to take care of your teeth. We have them leave with prescription fluoride toothpaste, so that way they can continue their dental care. And often when they stay down here, most clients, although they're not from this area, they often stay down here in halfway housing and to rebuild their life away from maybe where their situation was like at home. So we end up being their dentist long term, so they know they can get their dental care in a safe environment.
And I believe you said, Doc, that the parents of a lot of these folks are the ones that are paying for the treatments, things like that? Yes,
often the families. Our treatment goals isn't comprehensive care necessarily. We don't want to fix every little thing in these clients' mouth, although we'd love to. But when they're in a PHP program, which means they actually stay in the treatment centers, or even an IOP, which is intensive outpatient, where maybe they're only there 3 days a week for therapy, we really want to target the main things, so we really take advantage of that really good support system nearby, and and just take care of the problems, the main problems, really.
Well, it's really a unique niche. Would it be fair to say that it's, if I was going to call it under a special heading, it's like altruistic dentistry?
It's safe to say that. Yeah.
That sounds great. And I think, tell us a little bit, you also have some other outside interests related to dentistry and some boards and things that you're on too. So tell us about that.
Well, I'm involved with the American Dental Association. I like to stay involved in community services. I also do a lot of volunteer work. More so than that, we also do, besides general dentistry, I do a lot of cosmetic work, so Botox and Juvederm type of things. We offer this also to the clients, not so much while they're in treatment in the very beginning, but as part of their outpatient therapy. Whitening your teeth and things like that is great.
Well, it sounds like an amazing business model. What are your plans in terms of the next couple of years in terms of where you'd like to take this?
So, excuse me, Renew Me Mobile Dental. I truly believe that all treatment centers should have some type of oral wellness programming in their treatment center, in their current programming. It's a shame the way things used to be for a long time was there was no easy way for these clients to get dental care. A lot of times these treatment centers would give clients, ibuprofen, maybe an antibiotic, kind of put a Band-Aid on the situation. And what happens 30 days later is the client leaves the treatment center, and now they're faced with with a big issue. So what I really want to do is allow all treatment centers to have some type of oral wellness programming. There's a number of treatment centers in this area in South Florida, as well as across the country. There's little hubs of treatment centers in Texas and California, And I really believe that this mobile dental with Renew Me is going to provide the care that all these clients need.
So you would say that when you're looking at your business and how it's differentiated from other facilities, could you you've told us a little bit about that, but maybe a little bit more on that.
Well, what happened was, like I said, so in the past, unless things were really, really far along, like I was in private practice down here for a number of years. I worked with a number of treatment centers that I still work with, but what happened is it's very expensive for them to, number one, pay an employee to go and drive the client and the liability aspect to my private practice. The employee would sit in my waiting room and be paid, which was fine for that employee, but maybe not so much for the treatment center owners. And often when the clients were in my chair is when things went way too far. So maybe if we were able to intervene in the very beginning, a couple of weeks earlier, we'd be able to just do a simple filling. But now the tooth most likely has to be pulled, or now you need expensive treatments like root canals. So it's really with dentistry. Dentistry is a preventative type of medicine. It works best when you get to the problem early.
Well, as the business grows, it seems, are there any challenges associated with being, quote unquote, a one-person operation? That sounds a little bit like it could be self-limiting at some point. How would you combat that?
Absolutely. So you're 100% right. We've been in business for now 1 year. Mm-hmm. We've expanded we're with 8 different centers, and we're every month we're adding more and more. The goal is to hire dentists and have multiple trucks. So we're actually buying a second truck in the next 4 months. We're actually out looking right now. So that's going to be able to, right now I currently go from North Miami Beach all the way up to Juno Beach. Okay. We cover a large territory. So eventually with the next truck in the next few months, we'll now have a north and south. And from there, we'll further divide it. Each truck should be able to service about 17 centers. With almost 400 centers in this area, it's, there's plenty of treatment centers that need access to care.
Is it a challenge in terms of if at some point, if it gets, the business looks like it already is growing rapidly and tremendously, are there any challenges where you might need a partner or a collaborator? Do you envision?
I'd be foolish to think that I could handle all these things myself, and I know my necessary knowledge in business, I don't want it to put a limit to the potential of the business. So I absolutely think that a collaborator, maybe someone with a business mind per se, or more of a business background that could join with me, and the potential could be great.
It sounds like it's not every. I've worked with doctors in financial services for a good bit of my coaching life, and it's a challenge sometimes to find folks who have the balance between business and that particular craft in medicine or dentistry. So it sounds like your passion and your expertise in the business arena is a wonderful adjunct to the schooling that you've had in dental school.
Well, it's funny. One thing that dental school doesn't teach you is business. And I think medical school is the same way. You kind of leave there without a real good business background. Luckily, my family has been in retail and business my whole life. That's their area of expertise. So they've been coaching me and helping me along the way. But yeah, I think there's a lot of education that can still be done. I think I do a lot of reading online. I think Shark Tank and The Profit have taught me, given me my own little TV diploma in business. So I'm learning along the way.
So you can imagine yourself being on Shark Tank?
Absolutely.
For what purpose?
Well, I'd love, if Mark Cuban's listening, I would love to have, besides the capital, the guidance. It will be great as we expand.
So you do anticipate, a la Shark Tank, the future funding needs, so to speak, to be able to take it more regionally and beyond that, perhaps?
So the future model that we're going to build into is more of a franchise model. So absolutely, the capital would be helpful, and the knowledge. The undertaking of building that would definitely require Mr. Cuban or Mr. Wonderful or whoever else is available.
I've had the chance to meet some of those folks. Then it is quite unique to get on there. Tell us how they can how our listeners can reach you.
So they can go to renewmemobile.com. That's REN as in Nancy, UMI mobile.com. We also have number 1-844-4-RENEW-ME, which is also 1-844-473-6864. And that way they can reach me through the website. They can call, and we'd be happy to offer our services.
I guess there's a. Well, let me ask you another question. How would you envision as an entrepreneur? How would you envision from a business plan standpoint? Where? Hello.
Say hello. You have a caller on the air.
Oh, hi. We have a caller on the air. Hi, Brian. How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you?
We're doing great. What's your question today, Brian?
So I'm a clinical director of a fairly large Florida treatment center. We have both substance abuse and eating disorder clients, and I'd really love to hear your concept. And I love the concept, and I think it's absolutely necessary and a huge relapse prevention measure. What's the process in having you actually come to see our clients?
He broken up a little bit. Thanks, Brian. I think he said he was a treatment center, and he wanted to know, if I get your question right, Brian, how to bring our services to your center.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was asking.
Okay. It's real simple. So the number that I gave, 1-844-473-6864, you would reach out to us. We'll contact you to see the specifics of what capacity you would like us within your center. But often what we start out is we start with a tobacco cessation lecture. It's a great way for us to meet your clients and your clients to meet us. And from there, we start the screenings of your clients, and or you can give us a call as needed if you have a client that has an emergency dental issue. And that's really what our goal is. We want to be that panic button for the treatment centers. We don't want treatment centers to have another, oh my gosh, what do we do situation when they have a client in pain. So we want to be the panic button, the first number you call. So you go ahead and call us, Brian, and we're happy to get you set up.
Okay, great. Are there any extra added benefits that you offer as well? Along with your services, like for instance, maybe benefits to my employees?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Okay, yeah, good question. So yes, so we offer the staff. Often the staff at these centers are also in recovery too. So they tend to have the same dental issues as the clients that haven't. They didn't have the luxury of having Renew-Me. So what we do is we offer the staff, we generally give a large discount to any of the treatment centers that we work with off of the usual customary fees that they would pay at a local dentist. So we extend the same discounts to the staff. So staff who don't or employees who don't have dental benefits, by having Renew-Me Dental take care of your treatment center, you're also offering these staff and clients essentially dental insurance through us, an in-house insurance. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Thank you, Brian. Getting back to the business itself, Dr. Socher, what are some of the challenges, whether it's from a growth perspective or building the business or the operation of the business? What are some of the obstacles or the things that are keeping you up at night about this business?
Well, there's been plenty of nights up and awake and thinking, and I think that's just my nature. But really, the concern for myself, or what I'm not concerned, but what I think of often is growth, is the next step, and how we're gonna. There's such a need for us, and we don't want to underdeliver. We want to make sure we give them the maximum care. And Renew-Me really lives up to what it can be. So I often think of what the next step is going to be, whether it's bringing on the right person as guidance to help us. Then I think that in the last year, every step, every day is getting easier. Now, we're a lot further we were than we were a month ago, and finally all the parts are in place. So everything's running real smooth. We have our admin is locked down strong. We have a great marketing campaign, great advertising, those types of things are locked down. So now it's just a matter of time, I think, to really get the word out there. I feel like we're standing out there in the middle of a field waving our hands. Every treatment center that we've sat down with and talked to wants our services and wants us to be part of their center. it's really it's no cost at all to the treatment center to have us there. So it only makes sense for us to be part of their center.
So you're additive to the treatment center, and that, by definition, makes you a valuable entity for them.
Absolutely, and it's a need. It's short of, besides the mental health issues and the substance abuse issues that these clients have, their teeth are right next in line. The thing is, these centers are moving away from, like I said, that traditional therapy. So they have a chiropractor, they have acupuncture, they have massage therapy, yoga, manicure, pedicure. So all these things to make the person a holistic approach, make them well overall. Their teeth is obviously, next in line. From a more serious standpoint than just teeth is oral cancer. So there's been a rise of oral cancer in this population. It used to be oral cancer was kind of an old army vet, let's say, that drank and smoked their whole life. Now they have oral cancer. But now with drugs like meth and flocka and crack cocaine and things like that, when you heat these chemicals, it does crazy things to the mouth and the tissues. And we're seeing a response from these tissues that normally weren't seen. So now you have 27-year-olds that come in with an oral cancer lesion. So we provide oral cancer screening to all the clients. We have on-site testing if needed, very simple, non-invasive testing that can give us really invaluable information on whether or not the patient has cancer. Sometimes it's not cancer, but often it's a fungal infection where if it goes untreated, it can kind of run wild per se. So we go ahead and we intervene, and just a few days of a mouthwash, and now the person's all better.
Fabulous. Well, I think it's such a unique market. I can't say it's a startup. It doesn't feel like a startup to me. Does it feel like a startup to you?
Absolutely. Every bit of it feels like a startup to me.
Well, as you move to the next phase, I guess what I'm trying to say is it feels like the business is evolving, but you know your niche, you know your differentiation. You are a positive disruptor in the environment, in the marketplace, and hats off and kudos for that. And in my role as a business coach, I find it fascinating when folks are in unique niches, providing an amazing service, but in addition to that, having a very, very higher sense of purpose in terms of what you're doing. It's because I really believe I come from a science and business background, and ever since I left that part of the corporate world 7 years ago, it's kind of like the spiritual component that drives me in terms of my passion. I see that in you in terms of what your purpose and higher sense is, in terms of what you're trying to accomplish. So hats off to you. And as a coach, my partner and I, Lorena, will be back together next week. You can reach me at jfeldmaninc.com, and my phone number is 954-599-3242, and my landline is 954-763-2505. And I look forward to hearing from you. Dr. Socia, is there anything I left off that you want to end with as we proceed towards the end of the show?
No, I think that, I agree with you and with that passion. I think when you have that feeling deep inside and that drive, it's more than just a fleeting thought like, oh, this might be a good idea, but it's that constant coming back, that gnawing feeling where this is what you need to be doing. And I totally have that with this business. I think I just would like to reach out and just for treatment centers, owners or staff, to get involved now. Having your clients take care of these issues with a great support system nearby is really critical. You don't want anybody leaving your treatment center with a time bomb in their mouth when there's no reason to now. So please give us a call. Again, 844-473-6864. Go to renewmemobile.com and reach out and let us take good care of your clients so they have their best shot at a successful road to recovery.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much. And I guess one thing I also forgot to ask you, just on a personal note, a little bit about your family background, too.
Yeah, what part would you like to know?
Tell us as much as you can in the last couple of minutes, anyway.
Nah, my family is about business and bulldogs. My mom bred bulldogs, so I got one at home, and my father and brothers are both in retail, and my sister is a yoga instructor and a spiritual warrior, and I'm lucky to have a beautiful family and an awesome support system.
Well, that sounds wonderful. It's not in any startup. It takes a family that's committed to, obviously, as committed as you are to it. So I wish you all the best in terms of all the personal growth, and I'm excited to kind of hear and look forward to how this grows, because in the South Florida community, the opportunity for businesses like yours to grow and to be passionate, and yet to have a heart for what these folks are going through individually and communally in the area. I certainly commend you to that, and taking what at times is often thought of as a mundane dentistry, and yet making that a unique opportunity both for yourself and your family and what you're trying to achieve. So I think as a business coach, I just find it fascinating that you're servicing a niche in a way that, I guess from a competition standpoint, fair to say, not many really entering that niche, really.
No, there's none at the moment, and we're okay with that too.
You're okay with that? So imagine the listeners of an entrepreneurial business with very little competitors. He's lovingly disruptive in the marketplace and being unique in terms of all of that.
Absolutely, and please reach out if you have any questions. I'm happy to answer all of them. Any advice, my ears are open. Thank you so much. Okay, thank you very much for having me on the show. I really appreciate that, Jay.
You're quite welcome. That was cool. Did you get everything out you want?
This has been Tell Us Your Business, where a special guest comes on every week and tells us what they do. All shows can be seen on amp2.tv, and if you wish to be a guest, call 866-224-5422 and tell us about your business. That's 866-224-5422. This has been an amp2.tv production. The opinions expressed on the